Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Twofold.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Today we wanted to do something a little bit different. We thought it would be a fun idea to take the 5 people who have really resonated with us on Instagram as kind of mindset, spirituality, coaches, content creators, and break down what their core teachings are and why and how they've really impacted our lives and our relationships and the way that we relate to ourselves and our healing journeys, and just see if any of it resonates with you.
Yeah, I think Annabelle and I are both avid podcast and content listeners. We absolutely love to listen to podcasts. We're constantly sending each other podcasts, and we kind of noticed a theme that we kind of listen to like 5 of the same people on repeat, and we talk a lot about their teachings, and we apply like sayings and phrases and mantras that these creators teach. We apply them regularly in our own lives. So we thought it'd be fun to kind of break down everything we've learned, because we've listened to hours and hours of podcasts and workshops and classes. So we wanted to kind of distill all of that information that just lives up in our brain and share it with you guys, maybe to introduce you to a new creator that you love, or even just to share their wisdom and hopefully help you guys to learn how to apply it into your lives. So the first one we're going to be talking about is David Guillaume and Kabbalah. So Kabbalah is it's an ancient wisdom that kind of transcends all religions. And we could talk for hours and hours about Kabbalah. I've taken David Guillaume's Kabbalah 1, 2, and 3, so it's probably 50 hours of content, but we just wanted to talk about the main phrases that are really applicable, especially for a beginner or somebody who hasn't studied Kabbalah in depth. And so one of those is pause, what a pleasure. And so the meaning kind of behind this is that in life, we are constantly being tested. And the reason that we're being tested is so that we can overcome these tests and basically evolve and grow and heal our wounds, our reactions, sort of our, not flaws, but everybody has wounding and past trauma. And so as a way to allow us to grow and evolve, we are tested. And if we don't pass that test, life goes in a circle and more tests will show up that just look a little bit different. But if we do pass that test and we react and respond differently to things that trigger us, to, anything from a small inconvenience to something huge, then we basically up level and we are becoming more like the creator, more like the light. And everything in Kabbalah is all about becoming like the creator, becoming like the light of the creator. So one of David Guillaume's teachings and Kabbalistic teachings is that when you are in a situation that triggers you and you want to react maybe how you used to, or get upset, or do something that's probably not how the creator would respond, it's to just simply say to yourself, pause, what a pleasure. And the reason it's a pleasure is because the universe is giving you an opportunity to grow and to transcend. So basically reframing these inconveniences and these quote unquote negative things that happen to us actually as something positive, because it's providing an opportunity for us to step into our higher selves.
Yeah, I think another way that you can see it is, if pleasure doesn't really resonate with you, is pause, what an opportunity. And that's something that I've really applied, is in those moments, and it's precisely in the moments when you want to react, just pausing for a minute, taking a deep breath and seeing it, okay, I have an opportunity here, and to really just create a little bit of distance between your initial reaction and the impulse of what you want to say or do in that moment. And I think that if you're new to this, even just having that pause, if you do go on to react or whatever it is that you do, is so powerful, and it is just a step in the right direction towards elevating your consciousness.
Yeah, and then another one that we love is certainty beyond logic. I think if I were to get a tattoo, I would get that tattooed into my body, because it's so powerful. And really what's at the heart of this phrase or this mantra is that everything from the creator is good. And it's really building your trust muscle that everything is unfolding for your highest good, even in those hard moments, even when it doesn't feel good. It's really developing trust in unseen outcomes. You know, even when life doesn't make sense, even when things get complicated, just know that the Creator is always working behind the scenes to bring you all of your desires and all of your manifestations.
Yeah, I think this one is so powerful, especially in really uncomfortable situations or situations that bring up a lot of emotion, just to recognize that it is all happening for a reason, to trust in kind of divine timing and a process. And I think, you know, building on that certainty beyond logic is, you could take rejection, for example, and just realize that, you know, rejection is often protection. And if something is not working out the way that you want it to, it's because there's something even better in store for you. And the more you can really, really feel that and recognize that, the quicker you'll get to what it is that you actually want, rather than holding on to how you think that it should be.
Yeah, and I think certainty beyond logic can really help you to let go of control in your life, and really just surrender and tap into your feminine energy and trust in the universe. I think as high achieving, you know, type A women, sometimes we want to hold on tight and really try to control our lives and the outcomes and everything. And certainty beyond logic kind of gives you permission to let go of some of that control and just really trust that, you know, everything is unfolding exactly as it should.
I think another beautiful thing about David's work and the teachings of Kabbalah is that it's holding two truths at one time and two seemingly opposite truths. So while there is surrender and trust and certainty, that doesn't mean that you don't take action. You know, it's being able to hold those two things at the same time, and also just creating the space in your own consciousness to be able to hold seemingly opposite things in your own mind. And you can want something and have a goal and strive and take action towards it every single day, and at the same time surrender the outcome and really know that whatever does happen is what is meant to happen.
Yeah, and also certainty beyond logic is very inherently linked to manifestation. In order to manifest, you have to be, you know, in at the level, the frequency, the vibration of the thing that you want, even before it's there. So you have to feel so certain that that thing that you're manifesting is already coming, and you have to feel that in your body and show up and act as if you already have it. And so that's another way that we like to talk about certainty beyond logic, is when we're trying to manifest something or attract something that hasn't yet shown up in our 3D world. So with that, let's kick it on over to the next one. Annabelle, take it away for me.
Yeah, so the next one we're going to talk about is Jenna Zoe, and she is mainly focused on human design. That is kind of her main thing. She also has an app to go through anything human design called the Align app. And I think to break down human design is essentially being the person that you came to this world to be. It is a science that measures your aura. So there's the idea that you have a physical body and an energetic body, and she breaks all of this down with her content. But I will just say that the thing that it has helped me with the most is recognizing that we're all meant to actually be different and function differently in this world. And the more that you can lean into aligning with your energy type and the way that you're meant to function, the more things will flow. So it really allows you to not force things and feel like there's a quote right way to do it because society has told you that's how you're going to achieve success, and really lean into the way that things are meant to flow for you and your specific energy type.
Yeah, I love that. We're not going to go too much into Jenna Zoe because we actually have a special episode coming soon that's going to be a human design deep dive. So this was kind of just an introduction. And if it kind of piques your interest, we encourage you to go learn more about it and then catch the episode. We're going to do it's a deep dive interview on all things human design.
Great. So Caroline, can you bring us on to the next one?
Yeah, so our next one is Brian Withers, and he is predominantly on YouTube, but he's actually recently started an Instagram, and we've followed Brian for a long time, even though he's a smaller content creator, but we absolutely just love his message and really resonate with his content. It's incredibly authentic. It's not fancy. It's not overly edited. It's just very, very genuine. And his sort of main teaching is that everything in life is all about vibration. He talks a lot about manifesting. And he actually, what I love about him is he talks about how there's no such thing as a manifesting technique. I think the internet is very saturated with this manifesting technique and that one and this one. And he's actually saying that, well, we're actually manifesting all the time. Good, the bad, the ugly, everything is manifesting, and it's literally all just about your vibration and your energy. And his biggest thing is basically just, you need to feel good. Do things that make you feel good. And one of the biggest things that I've taken away from his content is, so when I was trying to manifest for a long time, I would really try to focus on that thing that I want. And sometimes that's actually counterproductive, because when you want something so badly, but you don't have it, it brings up feelings of lack, which is not at all going to help you manifest. So actually, Brian Withers talks a lot about just, feeling good and focusing on things that make you feel good and raise your vibration, and then the rest will come, and that the universe knows what you want and knows your deepest desires. So instead of focusing on, that purse that I want or that boyfriend, because when you focus too much on those things that you don't have, it can bring up lack. So instead, focus on things that make you happy, whether it's butterflies or rainbows or cozy days by the fireplace, like things like that. So he talks about how everything is vibration. Annabelle, what else have you taken from Brian's content?
Yeah, I think something to add on that is that it's not about then like toxic positivity. It's not about dismissing your feelings when you don't feel good, but rather recognizing and seeing it as contrast for what you actually do want. So if you're in a state of low vibration or you don't like how something is going, rather than focusing on the negative feeling attached to that, seeing that as, wait, this is actually informing what I do want. And all I have to do is shift my energy to focus on that and the good in that, and that will raise your vibration. So it's not about dismissing what you feel, but trying to find the positive aspects of why you feel a certain way. And just always realizing that you have the power to choose and choose what you focus on. And the more that you can lean into focusing on the good things, and being grateful, for example, is a really good way to shift your energy. If you're in a low vibe state, the faster the things that you do want will come to you.
Yeah, I think just being super conscious and aware, checking in with yourself multiple times throughout the day, and asking yourself, what energy am I emitting right now? Especially when little inconveniences pop up, it's like, wait a minute, slow down. Like, what vibration am I in? And immediately start naming things out loud that you're grateful for. It, like Annabelle said, it really is the fastest way to raise your vibration. And really, Brian's message is just that we are all powerful creators of our own reality, and that's a very empowering thought. So we are not victims of what's happening in our life. Like, our thoughts are creating what's in our life. So I really like his content because it's very simple and it's very digestible, especially if you are a beginner in any of this.
Also, with all of these things, having more and more and more knowledge isn't always the thing that's I don't think that's the thing that's going to change your life. It's how can you apply the things that you do learn. And we have so much fun together. If something bad happens, just it makes you chuckle to yourself. Yeah. So I think it gives you a chance to, pause, and what a pleasure, and combine these different techniques together, and it makes it all a little bit more fun. It takes the force and the pressure out of it, because that's what Brian's message really is to relax, to feel good, and to keep your vibration high.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 4 is Peter Crone. Annabelle, why don't you introduce him?
Yeah, so Peter Crone is kind of seen as describes himself as the mind architect. He is just incredible in breaking down the way that we are essentially living a reality created in our own minds. And the more that you can be aware of the stories that you're telling yourself and detach your identity from those stories, you can essentially free yourself, because that's ultimately what everybody is looking for. So he just provides such valuable insights. I think, especially his content, the workshops that he does, you can see him live time workshopping people on his Instagram. I do believe he also has a website that breaks everything down in masterclasses, but it's just so powerful to see how people transform right there live time. And I think it's very inspiring to recognize that no matter what it is that you're going through in your life and what has happened in the past, that you have full choice to choose the narratives that you're telling in your mind. And he also just has so much compassion for the experience of what it means to be human. And I could watch him all day long.
Yeah, he speaks with such conviction, and it's really a lot of like inner child healing. And he teaches people to not attach their identity, to painful things that have happened to the past. And when you're overthinking and spiraling, he often encourages his viewers to, ask like, what is it that I'm believing right now that's making me suffer? And is this really true? So it's like almost learning how to reparent yourself or just work through pain and trauma from the past that inevitably has impacted the way that your mind works today, the way you see the world, and the way that you see yourself, honestly, too.
Yeah, and I think his ability to break things down and provide you with a bit of perspective on on the stories that you're telling yourself is just so powerful, because sometimes we can get so stuck in the stories of our own mind, and it's really difficult to create distance between yourself and your mind. And the way that he is able to break things down is very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then the last one is Joe Dispenza, who's obviously much more well-known than some of these other creators. And I think the biggest thing with Joe Dispenza is just the message that you can literally create a new reality by becoming a new version of yourself. And a lot of that is done through meditation and visualization. So I know Annabelle and I both love to do Joe Dispenza meditations, especially first thing in the morning, and really focusing on feeling the feeling and the emotion of a new reality, a new identity, of something that you want to manifest, and really feeling that emotion, because he talks about how your brain cannot distinguish between envisioning something that you want and actually having it. And Joe Dispenza goes into a ton. I've read some of his books, and they're very like scientific, and they really get into the neuroscience behind manifestation and quantum healing. So it's really cool to actually like get into the science behind a lot of this. And especially if you're new and you have this preconceived notion that manifestation and all of this stuff is woo-woo, because I definitely have been there before. But Joe Dispenza really talks about the science, and I think it just provides an entirely new perspective on how all of this works.
Yeah, I agree. And his practices for visualization too are so powerful. And I think, in my own kind of healing journey, there have been a lot of moments where I've known something rationally and I know what I want, I know how I want to feel, but then a trigger comes up and your body reacts in a certain way and your nervous system is responding to something. And it's really difficult in those moments to remember all the things that you have been visualizing and, in those calm moments. So I think the really powerful thing about visualization is that you can literally give your nervous system the experience of feeling something and having something before you actually do. So you expand your capacity to essentially receive those things. And by practicing that over and over and over, I think it really primes your body for the times that the trigger does come up, for you to be able to create a bit of distance between yourself and that trigger and say, wait a second, this is not true right now. And it lessens the kind of sting of it completely taking over your mind and your life in that moment. And it allows you to then really choose differently, because in every moment, there's always a choice. And I think I heard this recently, that every decision is a vote for a specific timeline. So if you see yourself as having kind of multiple realities running parallel to each other, and every decision that you make in any moment is a vote for which timeline you're going to choose, I think it's a really powerful way to think about it. And the more that you can, again, create that distance between triggers and what you're feeling in the moment, you create space to actually choose something differently. And that's the way that you change your life, is by, one action after another.
I love that. So that kind of wraps it all up, you guys. Those are the 5 creators that we wanted to talk about today. And there are so many others who have had a big impact on our lives and our healing and expansion journeys. So we'll probably do another episode to include others, but we want to give a special shout out to these 5 creators and personalities, and just thank you. Your work is so meaningful, and we hope that for you guys, for the audience, that something resonated and will spark your interest, and go follow all of them and start learning their amazing lessons and everything that they have to share. So thank you guys for showing up today, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you for showing up, and let us know in the comments, which one resonates the most, which posts that you like, and which messages from them that are the biggest takeaways for you. Thanks again.
Bye.